beautiful ladies. Let's get the volume off. And hi, it's been a moment since I saw you. It was my birthday and I took the week and I went to a hot springs and I literally sat in a tub out in the middle of a field next to a geyser going off by myself and did absolutely nothing. It was fabulous. But before I did that, I was asked to MC at a group I belong to called the Association of Transformational Leaders. And it was quite a privilege to be asked to MC. And the title was Humanity. So I spent a lot of time thinking about humanity. And at first I was like, what does humanity even mean? So I looked it up and the word that came up was humankind. And I thought that I always think it's so interesting when they use a word to describe a word. So humankind. Okay, so what does humankind mean? So I immediately swapped it around and I said, kind, human. Interesting. So a little story about me. When I was a little girl, my dad was an aeronautical engineer. And then he switched careers. He went back to school to get his doctorate in something that apparently was somehow new. And he couldn't really tell me what it was in. And then for years, I'd be like, Dad, what do you do? And he'd say stuff to me. And it was like, those Charlie Brown cartoons where the teacher's like, wah, 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 wah. That's kind of what it sounded like, what my dad was saying to me about what he did. So finally, one day he says, Cari, I help people function better as individuals so that they function better in the environment of their job. And I was like, oh, okay. So it's no wonder now that when I look at how to help or support humanity, I immediately turn back to the individual. Because if you think about it, if you're having a bad day and you're really stressed out and you go to the supermarket and the checkout person's having some trouble and maybe they're a little slow and you're in a rush, how do you interface with that person? Right? Usually we're not as nice. We're kind of gruff. We're like, because we got to go. We're looking at our phone or whatever. However, if we're full and we're nourished and we're balanced, we notice that person is having a hard time, and we might feel compassion instead. And then when we go up, maybe we don't say anything, but maybe just energetically, the way that we're interacting with them has more compassion and more understanding. Now think about it. If you're a checkout person and you're seeing how many people in a day, like, I don't know, some days they probably check out 100 people. I don't even know. And every person's kind of grumpy and short with you. How are you going to feel at the end of your day? What are you going to go home and think about? Are you going to hate your life? Are you going to love your life? But if you go to work and people are nice to you and they're compassionate with you and they're understanding with you, how are you going to feel at the end of the day? Maybe you're still kind of like, but you're not feeling as badly. So how we feel impacts those around us, and how we feel is greatly affected by how well we take care of ourselves. So there I am sitting in this tub, completely isolated. I don't have Wi-Fi. I don't have anything. Like literally there was no Wi-Fi at this place where I was staying. No cell phone. Cell phone was off for 5 days. Amazing, right? And I'm sitting in that tub and I'm getting this sense that I am actually serving by being here. It's not selfish to take care of ourselves, because when we take care of ourselves, we're fuller. And when we're fuller, we have more to give. Lisa Nichols, who's this great thought leader and coach, I heard her speak once, and she did this great exercise where she took a pitcher of water, a pitcher that was empty. And then she took another pitcher of water and she started to fill the pitcher. And she started talking about how we're empty. And then we get some water and we get a little bit of water in there and we start to feel like, wow, I'm so full. I want to give. And she's like, nah. And then she pours some more water. And then she's like, oh my God, I'm so full. And the pitcher's about halfway full. And she's like, you're just bursting at the seams to give. She's like, no, 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 no. And she keeps pouring and she keeps pouring until the water is falling to the top, first of all. And then she's like, now you're just like, oh my God, I'm so ready to give. Let me give. I'm ready to give. And she's still like, no, 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 no. And then she keeps pouring. And then the pitcher starts to overflow. And she goes, that's where giving comes from. It comes from our natural overflow, right? So during this time when our stress level, it has such an impact on how we feel. And you all know if you don't feel well, then you're not going to be able to show up fully, particularly at this time, because everything goes so cray-cray, right? It just doesn't, it's not like we go from like, I'm having a bad day. When we are not taking care of ourselves, our system can really get thrown off. So when we take care of ourselves, when we nourish ourselves, when we feed ourselves on that deep level, we have an overflow to give back. That is where serving truly comes from. That is where serving truly comes from. So look around your life and see how you are filling up to overflow. What are you doing to fill up to overflow so that you are giving from that overflow and not from that empty pitcher that's trying, because your heart wants to, our hearts want to. And this time of life, our heart wants to even more. But we've got to make sure we're taking good care of ourselves so that we are full and are able to overflow into our care. Anyway, I'm sending you guys so much love. Just a quick drop in. I hope to have some more guests showing up soon. And may you find ways to be full.